When we did the sound design, the music was already there. So basically, the music was the leader of the scene. There's just something, a vibration of being hypnotized a bit. The music was clearly in the mood of that, and we had to increase our element and all the sort of, like a helicopter, for instance, when they pass to the left and the plane to the left also, we cut the frequency to have a certain kind of a moody, dreamy vibration to it, and the helicopter is also really fluently changed rhythm. It starts with a very clear rhythm, and then all of a sudden the helicopter changed to a non-rhythmical rhythm, and then it goes like this with radio interference. And
the bass was the music, and then all the work of putting the helicopter in, and then coming into the bass slowly. That was the first color to that scene. And after that, it's coming with the outside picture, like fantastic visual material.
Yeah. Denis wanted for the music to creep in without us really noticing when it's actually starting through the sound of the helicopter. So as Louise is kind of diving into realizing what is happening there, with all the crowd there is completely crazy, all the crowd, and we can hear a little bit of some horns and even some faint screaming of people down there, and car horns that is just barely cutting through, and then we're diving into this blend of music, helicopter sound, and communication. There's also little communication devices of radio going back and forth from the base to the helicopter, and there were all sorts of material that were created, but then the idea was to blend all of this as like Sylvain was saying, like a dreamy thing.
You're gonna take care of your bags. I'll take your cell phones. Cell phones. Follow me. Sir, they're here.
Louise Banks, Ian Donnelly. When's the last time either of you have eaten?
Last night.
Same.
When's the last time you did something stressful?
Does now count? Just saying.
Who's being carted off in the medevac?
Not everyone is able to process experiences like this.
I would like also to talk about when we land, because we have this trippy mood, but when we land on the base, the military base starts to be chaotic with the helicopter, jet, a PA that say orders, soldiers that move around, talk loud. So and Louise saw the medevac that we will understand later on that the medevac scary the first scientist, in fact, that she replaced. So she already arrived after kind of moody vibe, in this unfamiliar land, and where she does not belong to the military world, Louise. She's not comfortable with those people. And I think the message, in a way, is kind of clear when she lands there.
Everything you're doing there, I have to explain to a room full of men whose first and last question is how can this be used against us?
Kangaroo.
What is that?
In 1770, Captain James Cook's ship ran aground off the coast of Australia, and he led a party into the country, and they met the Aboriginal people. One of the sailors pointed at the animals that hop around and put their babies in their pouch, and he asked what they were, and the Aborigine said, kangaroo. It wasn't until later that they learned that kangaroo means, I don't understand.
I can sell that for now.
Fair.
And remember what happened to the Aborigines. A more advanced race nearly wiped them out.
It's a good story.
Thanks. It's not true. But it proves my point.
It's interesting. It's about language, but they cannot relate with vocal language. They had to relate on writing language because vocal language is too complex to achieve. So Louise had to do as a linguist, had to understand the heptapods through their writing instead of their vocals. And I'm not a linguist, but I don't know if it's an interesting path, the fact that you have to go to writing, and throughout the film, communication will remain for her a conflict, the fact that she will carry something in her that she cannot share. She have a hard time to share, and she will even later on in her life will have a hard time to share with her future husband, who will become the dad of her daughter. So I think it's an interesting path, the way how communication is a very uneasy thing throughout the film and throughout maybe life in general.
Denis really wanted us to feel the huge size of those aliens and their physical big power, and for that he just wanted for the aliens to be as loud as they could, and the music also carries this huge power of awe, I would say, with those huge, like, intense moments when we're going into the ship. But throughout all of this, what Sylvain was talking about just a bit earlier, the human aspect of the film dictated a lot of subtleties and delicacy. And so to be always on one side and the other was a challenging thing, and really fun thing to play with, because we love, as some people, we love subtleties also, and making things go through lightly, and then making huge, big statement, powerful statement from the aliens, and going from one to the other really matched the film, having those big aliens there and the human aspect of this character faced with so many things that I hope we will never feel.
Now that's a proper introduction.